Okay, we're going to go over 4 problems that involve solving for a variable when you see what appears to be like the letter E. But remember, in a math problem, E is not a letter. It's not a variable. In fact, it is the number. It's a number called Euler's number. Euler's number. So how do we solve for this? We are solving for x. I'm going through this pretty quickly. Here's the first example. In order to isolate the x, first I want to get rid of this outside stuff. So I'm going to do PEMDAS backwards. I'm going to look to add or subtract anything. And you guys are going to help me doing the basics of math here. Okay, I got to get rid of the 6. I'm going to divide. Opposite of multiplying is dividing. Please take 63 times 6 divided by 6 and tell me what the answer is. 10.5. Thank you. Okay, now this is where it becomes a little more confusing. The purpose of learning logs, the sole purpose of why we learn logs, remember logs are another way to write exponents. The sole purpose is when you're solving for a variable that's in the exponent positions, you have to use logs. So I'm going to use a different color so it stands out for you as you learn this. And I'm going to take and write log on both sides. Bless you. And whatever this number is here, that's the base. I'm going to write it as the base of the log. Now I put everything else down that already existed. This cancels out. In reality, it turns into a 1. It turns into a 1 in reality. And that's the whole purpose of why we do that. And then I get to bring down 3 subtract 7x equals, sorry, this shouldn't have been an equal sign should have been there, equals log base E of 10.5. There's nothing wrong with what I wrote. But log base E is equivalent. It's the same thing as the natural log. And why we don't put natural log as NL and we reverse and put LN, I'm not sure. But these are the exact same things. And this saves us a step on the calculator. So let's go ahead and figure out what is this. So these are equivalent. Let's do ln of 10.5. We're not going to round because I don't want to round and then round again. And then when you get to the final answer and you round it again, the more times you round, the less accurate your final answer is. So I'm going to leave this on the calculator. This equals some large decimal. So this large decimal, to isolate the x, I'm going to subtract 3 from it. And then I'm going to divide by -7. So on my calculator, I'm going to take this large decimal, subtract 3, press enter, and then divide by -7. Subtract 3, divide by -7, and let's round to the nearest hundredth. It will tell you what to round to, and I'm going to make it up and say round to the nearest hundredth. So because I'm rounding, it's approximately 0.093. 0.093. Next problem. -5e raised to 1.1 x subtract 5 subtract 8 equals -53. Okay, let's start by adding 8 to both sides. Add 8 to -53, you end up with a -45. Divide by -5. And now we're in the same position. The purpose of learning logs, once again, is to be able to solve for a variable that's in the exponent position. So whatever this base is, in this case it's e, I'm going to write log base e to both sides. And then I'm going to go ahead and write down what was originally there. These cancel. In fact, they turn into a 1. And then this is the same as the ln of 9. Log base e is the exact same thing as the ln of 9. Log base e of 9 is the same thing as the ln of 9. So I'm going to go ln of 9, and it's this long, ugly decimal. And to isolate the x, I'm first going to add 5 to it and get an answer, and then divide by 1.1. And if I round this to the nearest hundredth, it'd be approximately 6.543. X is approximately 6.543. 1 through 5, so far you're understanding. 1 through 5, hands up high so I can see. We do have a couple 5s, 2s and 3s as well. Okay, here's your next one. Please write this down. All right. I want you to work on this with your partner, working as quick as you can on paper, talking the entire time. You have 2 minutes. Begin. Don't round to the very end. Let's go to the nearest thousands. Let's keep that up. I have my answer above if you want to check. Would anybody like me to explain the steps? No problem. Quick hand raise and I'll explain. Okay, so I'm going to start at the very top and I'm going to do like PEMDAS backwards. So first I'm getting rid of adding and subtracting. Then I'm getting rid of dividing. Now when you divide this, did you see a decimal that went on and on and on, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to leave it as a fraction. Now I need to get rid of this e. It's a number. So to get rid of it, I do the log of this number on both sides. By doing this, it cancels out, really turning it into a 1, and I bring down what was the exponent. And then remember, log base e is the same thing as ln. So ln of this fraction, then I'm going to add 3 to it and divide by 7. Let's take the next one as if you were taking a checkpoint quiz question or a test question. So without the help of your partner, 2 minutes, begin. That is.